Hey, our gang. I want to talk about the whole Batwoman thing that's going on. You may have heard of it. While I was looking through the news, I guess yesterday, with Syria and twerking and all the important stuff, I came across this delightful news article concerning the creators of Batwoman. They have quit the title. J.H. Williams III and let's see, Hayden Blackman. They have quit the title after, I think it's 23 issues or something like that. They're about to hit issue 20. I think they're they've done, I think, 25 issues or something like that. 25, 24 or something. They've quit the title, and I think they're one of the longest running teams on the New 52 so far, and one of the more successful and critically acclaimed. What happened? Something about a marriage happened. And to explain it just pure and simple, they came out on Twitter and said that DC Editorial told them they are not to show Batwoman and Maggie Sawyer married. After building up this story of them getting engaged, falling in love, getting engaged, and now they're not even supposed to get married. Now, of course, that has a few people annoyed. So let me just talk about the subject just for a few minutes and explain my thoughts on this whole thing. First off, this essentially is the straw that broke the camel's back for the creators. They had been having to deal with the last-second changes over and over again from editorial. I believe something dealing with Killer Croc in a storyline. They fought them on the engagement. And I believe Montoya is also a problem because she's one of those characters that it's off limits. And I know they want to use her, but they can't. And I'm willing to wager, I haven't heard anything, but the lateness of issue 1, I'm sure, had something to do with a lot of these changes in the New 52. So, we build all this up, and Kate proposes to Maggie, and then the creators are told, well, don't show them married, or something like that. That's basically a strange way of saying don't get them married. What, can they be married and just off panel all the time? It's really frustrating to listen to all these kind of changes over and over again, where you really do feel like the creators of these titles for DC Comics don't have any control of their titles. And I'm going to say right off the bat, I don't think that this was motivated out of any kind of homophobic feelings on the editors of DC, the management of DC Comics. I think they're not only anti-gay marriage, I think they're anti-straight marriage. They're just anti-marriage. And that's been a big, big standard since the start of New 52. They've, like, separated Clark and Lois, as well as, like, Green Lantern and his wife, and Flash and Iris, and Wally and Linda don't even exist, much less their marriage and their kids. I think Elongated Man and Sue Denby haven't shown up again, so there's that marriage down the toilet. The only marriage that's been the exception to all this is Aquaman, and I do feel like, to be honest, that has a lot to do with Jeff Johns. He has, rightfully so, built up a lot of power and push with DC Comics. So if he wants to do Aquaman and Mara married, then yeah, he's got their blessing. I really do feel like if someone like Peter David or Eric Larson or somebody else pitched a Aquaman title for the New 52, they would have said no way. That's just my feeling. Like, if anybody else had pitched that title, forget it, no marriage. She'd be dead. Can she be dead and maybe not married? Is that good enough? Because I don't think DC has really struck me as a homophobic kind of company. well, first off, with Vertigo, there's been a lot of well done homosexual characters over the years, and even within the New 52, they've made great pains to diversify their line with Earth 2 making Alan Scott a gay character, although, okay, granted, they killed his boyfriend off in the next issue. And then Bunker over in Teen Titans, okay, granted, he's kind of a stereotype and insulted and made fun of in every issue he's appeared in. But then there was this glimmer of hope in Batwoman. The way the characters are done maturely and thought out as real people. But unlike real people, they're not able to get married. And I really do feel like this is just a blanket stance that they just take. No one can get married. And unfortunately, that puts them in an awkward position because we've just been having this debate over gay marriage for a few years. We're smack dab in the middle, culturally, of this national debate. It is the most important civil rights issue, I think, of this particular generation. And yeah, putting them on an anti-marriage stance and not making any exceptions for this gay marriage in this title that I don't see why this marriage interferes with the big plan. I understand they have their plans for this universe. They have probably like a 2, 3, 5-year plan. I get it. It is the job of the management of a comic book universe to have sort of a plan in mind, and sometimes, you have to kind of steer the ship. I get it. But I don't understand how this marriage interferes with the big overall plan. I don't understand how this title, which has been kind of in and of itself, it's one of those titles that doesn't interfere with a lot of the other books. Like Green Lantern is that kind of book. Or Justice League. Obviously, okay, you have to kind of keep an eye out with that book and what goes on. But apparently, yeah. I do wonder about DC's problem with marriage. I think that there's this perception among editors, among comic book industry people, that when you show a character married, you no longer relate to your younger fan base. And that puts a gap of years between your heroes and your younger fans. I think that is the perception. I do believe that that was part of the reasoning for Peter Parker and Mary Jane's magical annulment. And, well, aren't all annulments magical. But unlike Marvel, that seems to be the standard over DC. Spider-Man's situation seems to be more of the exception, where, there is Reed and Sue, there is Luke Cage and Jessica Jones. You do get the feeling that characters can get married over there, and that doesn't feel like the case over there at DC anymore. So it's this perception that they're trying to second guess the audience and what makes them uncomfortable and what makes them comfortable. And it's this idea. I've heard writers talk about this problem in dealing with Hollywood. Like, they pitch an idea, and the producers who have never met anybody in the Midwest ever will ask, well, will the Midwest get it? Those stupid idiots will get your complex idea. And let's dumb it down for those idiots who are paying good money to see it. I really do feel that that's kind of the mentality over at DC. Like, hey, we pitched this kind of grown-up, mature storyline. Oh, I don't know. Those stupid idiots that read our books ain't gonna like that. Make them divorced or something or that. Or kill the girlfriend. I don't know. What do you want to do? So yeah, I think this is a symptom of this management that just doesn't know what it's doing. And that's been one of the things that's frustrated me with DC, and which is a reason after 30, 35 years of reading DC Comics, I've stopped reading DC Comics. Because if they don't care, if they don't understand what they're doing, then how can I get involved at all as a reader, as a fan? It's just, I can't follow a company that does that. I will gladly come back once they figure out what they're doing. But until then, make mine Marvel. Push the button, Lindsay.